Okay, so the question is, what is akasha? How can I experience it? So akasha is the fabric of infinity underlying all matter and form. Everything that exists in form is on an akashic fabric. Akasha regulates the lawful principles upon which form can exist, and it's something that can't be pinned down with words, but it has a quality of infinity to it. There's no edge to it. It goes forever, and the mind substance which comes out of that akasha, people might call that God. They might call it Tao. They might call it the universal mind substance. So you can measure how your relationship to divinity is by the quality of infinity that accompanies the experience. So if you meet God in a form sense, well, that's not God, it's a figment of your imagination. It's not infinite. So infinity is the measuring tool. It's your relationship to releasing time and the exercise you use for that, your relationship to releasing space, the exercise for that. These are all layers of training, identifying infinity, accessing, releasing that, and then feeling that infinite quality of consciousness and working through that. Now, if you're doing Qigong, your vital energy is your meditation object. You release time, you're in the astral. Release space, you're in the mental. And then as you concentrate on that release of space, there's an infinity, empty space underneath it. Pay attention to that. Recognize the infinity, let the mind expand. And you're touching akasha. It's measurable by the infinity quality. And that's how you get a sense of the white light you're working with. Is it astral? It's contained. Is it infinite? It's non-dual. It's uncontained. So for Qigong practitioners doing the 3 transformations exercises, the process is to get you into an akashic state, to get you into the infinite light state. And the sooner you get there, the sooner everything comes back into form easier, more clearly, and you get more insight and understanding what you're doing. Okay, so most people who have akasha experiences, they're synchronistic, it just happens. Most people that talk about akasha may not be interacting with akasha. It's usually astral. If you're working on developing akasha, always pay attention to the empty space underneath what you're doing. So whatever the exercise is, it'll accumulate stillness if you're concentrating. Move from the exercise to the stillness and surrender to that, and just let your mind spread into it. And you'll start touching akasha before you know it. Requires a high degree of commitment. If you're keeping your precepts, there'll be less static in your field, so you have easier access. If you're doing it for the benefit of others and you have vows of merit for the benefit of others, you'll accelerate on your path to achieving it. If you use any type of drug that reduces your ability to concentrate, you can't accumulate akasha. Drugs that separate the matrices, so you have this out-of-body experience, it means the mind isn't concentrating and focused and centered in the stillness for akasha to rise. So everything that's drug-oriented is astral. It's an astral experience, not an akashic experience. Akasha is accumulated the concentrated mind of the spirit. Akasha accumulates underneath that, and things happen. Any drug-related experience is not God, it's hallucination. That's just not a question mark, it's a fact. There's no question about it, it's just a fact. You cannot touch divinity through drugs, through tricks and so forth. So let's say you take a light sound machine and it puts you into that well, I'm in this open, vast space. It's softened the matrices to put you in that space, but you're in an astral mental space. You're not in akasha. You need to accumulate the concentrated mind, to accumulate the akasha relationship to infinity for the mind to move through that, own it, and release and have those different types of experiences. And it's a vastly big difference. So when we're looking at akasha, concentration is the only way to really own it. Working in a group of people that work with akasha, that have put in the work, will speed that up dramatically, but you still have to put in the work. If let's say you're in a group of people who practice akasha a lot and you start breathing akasha, then you go out on your own, that akashic memory experience will start integrating with all the other stuff and it'll become astral very, very quickly. You need to abide by the principles that you're practicing concentration, that creates stillness, and you're harvesting that stillness to develop a relationship through akasha to the universal mind. If you get that right, you'll get a really powerful development. Okay, so for akasha, it's not something that you can just label easily. Different aspects of emptiness, stillness, infinity. There isn't adequate words for those experiences. There's words that hint about them, but what it is, practice and you'll find out for yourself. Generally, in many traditions, I say it takes 10 years of concentration exercises to accumulate the concentrated mind for akasha to arise. So a decade of samadhi concentration work and discipline will get you there. If you're in a group of people who train akasha, within a year you can be, I'm pretty comfortable what this is. And if you're serious, it'll be deep akasha. If you're not serious, it'll be superficial akasha. Now, we have what we call limited akasha, which is akashic substance in a container. The substance itself is the door to infinity, but it's a limited container that it's accumulated in. It's like you accumulate a vacuum in a flask. There's a vacuum there, but it's still contained in a small flask. So the pressure in that environment is more vacuous. Same thing happens with akasha. It's a limited akasha that people accumulate initially before their mind accesses unlimited akasha. So one step at a time. Never go, I got it. Just go, there's that step. Let's release and go on to the next. Release time and space more infinity, more access to the unlimited consciousness, and just let the mind expand. Be a silent observer as you continue to release. Release time, release space, and release all the experiences that arise out of that release of time and space. Go back to your training exercises for methods of releasing time. Go back to your training exercise for methods of releasing space. And then your ability to access akasha becomes more released and more accessible. So you may have to do a fundamental exercise to crack the top open and get a deeper effect. Okay, thanks for your time, everyone, and I hope this helps a little bit with the word akasha and people who are asking about it. Put in solid concentration practice, keep your precepts, and cultivate and accumulate that stillness. I'll see you in the next video.